Enthusiasm was really, really good both days. Flying around, a lot of competition, hooting and hollering. So, you know, they should be. We're not playing football in 3 weeks. It was one of the better ones that I've been a part of. I've seen coming back after a layoff. Really good.
How important has it been, looking back on Connor's season, that he just kind of avoided making those kind of typical first-year starter mistakes, and that, you know, even when he wasn't perfect, he was not doing silly things?
No, he doesn't. I mean, he's a poised guy. You know, he really is, and he's probably poised beyond what his years are right now. But he has been here a while too now. You know, I mean, getting here that early, that semester, it seems like he's been here a little longer. You know, because he got here early. But you know, he's a student of the game, and you know, we've talked before and said, you know, the more he plays, he'll start pulling the trigger quicker and all that, and he'll just keep getting better with reps. And I think that's what you saw toward the end of the season. He just really kind of let it go, and then you don't have the bad plays. You know, he doesn't make those plays, hasn't made those plays that can get you beat, and then he makes a lot of plays with his feet too, and you know, keeps plays alive and things of that nature. So that's always, you know, something that you know, we like, you know, in the quarterback, and you know, he obviously has done very well doing some of those and keeping it alive when the protection is broken down a little bit.
Obviously, your first goal is to win the bowl game. How about the practice time that you get for Connor and the other quarterbacks as far as getting more prepared for next year?
It's always huge, you know, for all the young guys. You know, Tanner's a guy that I would like. You know, we're going to pick up some here, these two-a-days and stuff we start doing. We're going to let the young guys, you know, do some scrimmage, some of the red shirts. I'm really anxious to get Tanner in there and let him go. I think a guy like him, Dylan, those extra practices that you get, or you can't substitute for them. You know, guys that aren't playing in bowl games don't get those. So it's big when you have a young team and you have some young good players that need reps. So look forward to, you know, getting them out there this entire week.
How about Nebraska and how well they play the zone read defensively?
Well, you know, there's been some games that we've seen. You know, Michigan, you know, had some success against them. But typically teams with them doing that kind of offensively, typically they have a pretty good knowledge of that. But then you look at some of it, and the quarterback run has had some success against them. So, you know, but that's our identity, and that's what we do right now, and that's what we do pretty well. So, you know, it's something that we'll have to establish early, hopefully.
It looked like a pretty intriguing quarterback battle with Connor and Taylor Martinez. Based on what you've seen on film, two similar style quarterback with what they do in the field.
Yeah, athletically and with their feet, absolutely. You know, we're probably a little more in the pass game. You know, Connor at this stage, but you know, he's a tremendous athlete in what I've seen when I've watched him, and you know how I feel about Connor and his athleticism. So you know, it's two really, really good athletes, and the type of athletes that most defensive coaches don't really like, you know, trying to get prepared for.
Has Spurrier moved grudgingly towards this getting away from the play action and going with more of the zone read type quarterback? I mean, have you had to kind of convince him that this is the way to go in college football now?
Well, I mean, that's not really. I mean, the coaches does a great job, obviously, of making adjustments to the personnel. I think that's what everybody, you know, all good coaches do that. And I think, you know, just today, the way defenses are in general, you have to have a quarterback that has the ability to move around a little bit. If you don't, they're going to be in trouble. In our league, especially, you see those guys. I mean, the way, you know, you get the Big Ten, the you know, the SEC, and the big, you know, these guys that they're getting the best D linemen in the country and everything, and the way these linebackers and everybody can run when they're blitzing, you can't be a stationary guy back there. You're going to get hurt. And so we're fortunate to have a couple of those guys, and you know, it's you know, you'd have to ask Coach that, but I think he's kind of learned to like it. You know, we all like 10 wins, and if you know, Connor, I think that last game, the Clemson game, is a prime example of what truly, you know, a true dual threat type of guy that you really enjoy. You know, when you throw for over, you know, well over 200 yards. And some touchdown passes, hit some deep balls, and run around for 100 yards. You know, it's a pretty good day. You know, it's a pretty good day. So look forward to seeing him continue to evolve in the passing game and really become a big threat.
Yeah, over the years, Coach Spurrier's had a lot of success with shorter quarterbacks, you know, and a lot of times he talks about standing in the pocket. Is there something about his offense that makes it easier for some smaller guys that aren't prototypical pocket passers to make those throws downfield? A guy like Connor, does he ever have trouble looking over those offensive linemen?
Yeah, not really. Another reason why to have good feet too, because you can move yourself. You got to have the ability. You don't have to be necessarily a great athlete, but all guys have to be able to at least move in the pocket and create some passing windows for themselves. You know, Connor. There's some things when Connor can't see. If people are getting pushed back in your face, but if you're 6'4", you can't see. You know, so I think that's a big overrated thing in quarterback. You know, Drew Brees is 6 foot. Last I checked, he's leading the NFL in passing right now. And you know, you get back in the gun a little bit, helps create some throwing lanes and that. But you can either pass or you can't pass. You know, whether you're 6'5" or 6 foot. So Connor does a great job of finding those lanes. And again, the more he continues to play and gets comfortable, then he's going to find even more of those windows as he continues to evolve.
So do you think his deep ball is underrated? Seems to really throw
Oh,
the
he throws
deep
a good.
ball well.
He throws a good deep ball. Yeah, and I think it was just a matter of actually, you know, I think now all of a sudden we hit one, wasn't it? He'd thrown some pretty good ones throughout the year, and then we finally hit a couple. You know, we got to hit a couple down the field. But he is really starting to learn how when he's got to put some juice on it, he can put some juice on it. When he's got to throw a touch ball, he throws a beautiful touch pass and fades and things of that nature. But he can throw the deep ball. I think everybody just kind of assumes that, you know, when you don't see him. Now that you hit a couple, I think everybody sees that he can throw. He throws a pretty deep ball.
What do you recall about some of the early zone read stuff you guys were working on in practice, and how quickly you noticed, well, this is something he does really, really well? Or maybe is it something you saw when you even recruited him?
Yeah, when I recruited him. I mean, they ran that in high school, you know, and so you saw very early when he was playing. And of course, he was a free safety and he was a wide receiver before he became a quarterback. He was an all-state wide receiver when he was a sophomore in high school because his brother, of course, they got beat yesterday. Unfortunately, J-Bo got knocked out, and I know Connor watched that, but. You know, while he was waiting on him to be done, he was playing wide receiver. Yeah. So he's got a great knowledge of the game of football, and he's a football player that plays quarterback. So, you know, he's very, very good at reading that and understanding